Hello, Reds fans. Welcome to the YNWA Transfer News Channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for your daily latest news.
Luis Diaz completes £65.5 million move from Liverpool to Bayern Munich. Liverpool's financial position has been strengthened before a potential bid for Alexander Isak after Luis Diaz completed his €75 million, £65.5 million, move to Bayern Munich. Diaz has signed a 4-year contract with the option of an extra year with the Bundesliga champions after Liverpool received an improved offer they felt represented fair market value for the 28-year-old Colombian international on Sunday. Diaz, who left Liverpool's pre-season training camp in Tokyo on Monday to seal the transfer, turns 29 in January and had made it clear he wished to leave the Premier League champions. The winger had wanted to leave last summer, but Liverpool stood firm before Arne Slot's debut season as head coach. The club subsequently attempted to renew his contract, which was due to expire in 2027, but with no prospect of an agreement and Bayern improving their bid with achievable add-ons, Liverpool reluctantly agreed to his sale. Diaz played a key role in the club's 20th league title triumph last season and scored 17 goals in all competitions. Diaz is the third most expensive transfer in Bayern's history, behind Harry Kane and Lucas Hernandez. He is also the third biggest sale in Liverpool's history behind Philippe Coutinho and Luis Suarez, both of whom joined Barcelona. 3 years and a half that I'll treasure forever. I arrived with all the dreams in the world, and I am leaving proud of everything we achieved together, Diaz posted on Instagram. I have met incredible people, fabulous colleagues, coaches who helped me a lot, and extraordinary fans. Liverpool is, indeed, a special team, and I will keep everyone in my heart. It would have been the perfect goodbye if we hadn't lost one of ours in such a tragic way. Diaz added, referring to former teammate Diogo Jota, who was killed in a car accident this month. As I said, and I repeat, I carry everyone with me in my heart, but one of them in particular. Diogo. I will never forget him. We will never forget him. Thank you for everything. YNWA. Liverpool paid an initial €45 million to sign Diaz from Porto in January 2022 with €15 million payable and potential add-ons. Only €4 million of those add-ons have been triggered, and with Porto holding no sell-on clause, Liverpool will make a profit of €26 million on the deal. The completion of Diaz's move to Germany means Liverpool have raised more than £190 million in player sales since Richard Hughes became sporting director in June 2024. The champions have spent almost £300 million this summer, including add-ons, but remain interested in signing Isak should Newcastle show an inclination to sell their prized asset. Liverpool accept it would take a British record transfer fee to bring the Sweden international to Anfield, a move the striker is understood to want, and are likely to have the finances to make it happen with Darwin Núñez, Harvey Elliott, Tyler Morton and Ben Doak all potentially leaving this summer. Luis Diaz completes permanent move to Bayern Munich. The Colombian departs the Reds, having played a significant role in the lifting of 4 major trophies since arriving from FC Porto in early 2022, highlighted by Premier League title glory last term. Diaz made an instant impact after being signed by Jurgen Klopp, with his pace, trickery and output from various attacking positions on show from his first appearances in the Liverpool shirt. It was an eventful opening half-season for him at the club, Lucho scoring 6 goals and delivering 4 assists in 26 appearances before the end of 2021-22. He aided the Reds' push for a remarkable quadruple, starting both Wembley finals as the Carabao Cup and Emirates FA Cup were won each via a penalty shootout versus Chelsea. Diaz was also in the team as Klopp's side, who finished runners-up in the Premier League, were beaten by Real Madrid in the Champions League final in Paris. A serious knee injury sustained in the early phases of the next campaign prevented Diaz from immediately building on his electric start at Anfield, limiting him to only 21 games across 2022-23. That summer, he swapped number to become Liverpool's newest number 7, and he steadily began to reproduce his finest form. Over the next 2 seasons, Diaz represented the Reds 101 times, scored 30 goals and gave 10 assists. Another League Cup success at Wembley marked 2023-24, before Klopp vacated the dugout and was replaced by Arne Slot as the club's new head coach. Diaz had predominantly been deployed in wide roles for the Reds to date, but Slot increasingly used him as the central attacker of a front three during the past campaign. It worked a treat, with Diaz enjoying his most prolific single season with Liverpool and helping to lead the team to a Premier League title triumph, one secured with 4 matches left to play. 13 of his 17 strikes overall in 2024-25 came in the top flight, including a memorable double at Old Trafford as Slot's side laid a marker down at the outset of the campaign. Among other personal highlights of his final season at Liverpool was a second-half hat-trick in a 4-0 Champions League rout of Bayer Leverkusen at Anfield. The last hurrah of his Reds career will remain the jubilant scenes he was part of in April and May as the championship was mathematically clinched and subsequently celebrated with supporters. Diaz now embarks on another chapter in his career with the completion of a permanent transfer to the Bundesliga with Bayern. Everybody at Liverpool FC thanks Luis for all of his contributions during his time at the club and wishes him the best for the future. Arne Slot may know his strongest team already, but it won't be easy. After fielding mixed sides against Preston, Stoke and AC Milan with the focus being on fitness, the approach changed for Arne Slot as Liverpool took on Yokohama. Slot had balanced his selection for Liverpool's first 3 friendlies of pre-season, knowing that he would change the majority of his starting lineup at halftime in each. But after building up their fitness with intense sessions in the heat of Hong Kong and Japan, it was arguably Slot's strongest available side that took to the pitch at the Nissan Stadium on Wednesday. Granted, Alisson's absence due to a personal matter prompted backup Georgi Mamardashvili to start, while Alexis Mac Allister was only fit enough for half an hour in his first game back. Liverpool's strongest available 11 started. Beyond those two it was as strong as it could currently get, with Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Kane back together at centre-back, Ryan Gravenberch in the know. 6th row, Florian Wirtz as number 10 and Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo on the wings. There were also nods to Slot's favourite starters in a number of roles with question marks over them heading into the summer. Connor Bradley was selected over Jeremy Frimpong at right back, while new signing Milos Kerkez started ahead of Andy Robertson and Kostas Tsimikas at left back. Dominik Szoboszlai was deployed in his favoured number 8 position, and Hugo Ekitike made his unofficial debut to lead the line instead of Darwin Núñez. Though there are 2 more friendlies to come, back-to-back against Athletic Club at Anfield, provided Alisson is able to return. Liverpool's starting lineup for the Community Shield on August 10th is now fairly straightforward. That is likely to be Alisson, Bradley, Kane, Van Dijk, Kerkez, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Salah, Wirtz, Gakpo, Ekitike. Of course things can change, and not least if Liverpool are able to strike a British record agreement with Newcastle for their striker Alexander Isak, who is more of a plug-in-and-go option as starting number 9. But for all intents and purposes Slot could be considered to have already settled on his go-to 11 for the start of the campaign proper. However, over 90-plus minutes in Yokohama that saw Liverpool navigate an awful pitch and an opponent already more than halfway through their season, the Dutchman could have spotted a number of headaches on the horizon. Chief among those will have been an eye-catching display from Frimpong at right back. The £29.5 million signing from Bayer Leverkusen was sharp and dynamic, ever willing to showcase his devastating pace, an architect of Trey Nyone's goal to make it 2-1. While Bradley is clearly more settled in the squad and the expectations of Slot's system, he was not the most effective of the 2 right-backs used on Wednesday. There could also be a doubt over whether Kerkez should be an immediate starter over Robertson, who has continued to stake his claim in pre-season and helped propel the counter that led to Rio Nguma's stunning solo strike. In midfield, while many had already ruled Szoboszlai out of their ideal eyes following the club record deal for Wirtz, the Hungarian's tempo-setting displays in a slightly deeper role could instead challenge Mac Allister's grip on the number 8 spot. That particular situation will almost certainly be more fluid than others, not least as Gravenberch will be suspended for the opening game of the Premier League season at home to Bournemouth. It will no doubt be argued by some that Ngumaha, the precocious 16-year-old winger who has already scored twice this preseason, should be starting ahead of Gakpo on the left flank, but Slot is unlikely to be as emphatic in his selection. Rio, again, showed the quality he has, and that's nice for us, the head coach told his post-match press conference. We have a lot of very good players, but to get some very good players through the academy is always helpful, always gives energy to a team as well. It's always nice to see young players from 16, 17 or 18 years old already impacting a game. But there was also a moment in the game where he should have squared it to Maka or Curtis, so also learning points for him. But if you are 16 and you can impact the game like he did, that's definitely worth a compliment. Exactly what Slot wants. In reality, this will be the scenario Slot had been hoping for heading into Liverpool's unexpectedly busy summer transfer window. It has been maintained that the head coach, emboldened by his statement Premier League title triumph, is seeking 2 top options for each position in his squad. That means more competition for places and a less predictable starting lineup. The key names may remain, but there will be more rotation during a campaign in which Liverpool will hope to challenge for even more silverware, including the Champions League. The notion of a selection headache is one managers have scoffed at ever since the term was coined. Because having more top-quality players than you can fit into one 11 is always better than not having enough. Liverpool's designs on a deal for Isak and the scope for further additions at centre-back and perhaps even in the wide forward areas means those tough decisions will only increase for Slot heading towards the transfer deadline and beyond. This can only be a positive for the champions. As with last season's surefire starters less certain of their place in the side, it should spur them on to an even higher level of performance throughout 2025-26. Liverpool Premier League title blow predicted despite record signings. Liverpool are predicted to miss out on consecutive Premier League titles, according to a supercomputer's forecast of the 2025-26 league standings. The Reds clinched the championship last season, marking an impressive debut for new manager Arne Slot. Few had tipped Liverpool for glory following Jurgen Klopp's exit, but a dip in form from Manchester City and Arsenal's inability to seize the opportunity allowed Slot's team to sail to victory unchallenged. However, this season is set to be different, with City bolstering their squad with 10 new signings since the start of the year and Arsenal finally addressing their striking woes. Despite Liverpool being the biggest spenders, splashing out over £269 million, they're not done yet. The current champions are eyeing Newcastle striker Alexander Isak, with a potential British record transfer fee of at least £125 million on the cards. This comes after they shattered the record last month by signing Florian Wirtz for a staggering £116 million. Yet, the supercomputer predicts Liverpool will finish third, mirroring their 2020-21 performance when they were defending champions under Klopp. Arsenal are projected to secure second place for the 4th consecutive year, setting a new record, while City are expected to reclaim the title under Pep Guardiola. There's also positive news for Manchester United, who are predicted to climb 10 places but just fall short of Champions League qualification to Chelsea, reports the Mirror. Aston Villa would edge out Tottenham for 6th position, while Newcastle, West Ham and Everton would complete the top half. Sadly for the 3 sides promoted from the Championship, Burnley, Sunderland and Leeds, they would all face immediate relegation, a concerning pattern witnessed in recent seasons. These forecasts come from an AI supercomputer, via Sportscasting, which has run simulations of the forthcoming Premier League campaign. Regarding City's title triumph, it explained, even without any seismic squad changes, their machine-like system powered by Omar Marmish, Phil Foden, the returning Rodri, and a 36-goal season from Erling Haaland keeps them dominant. Their depth and consistency in tight matches give them the edge over Arsenal and Liverpool. Arne Slot's rebuilt side will feature a potent attack with Mo Salah alongside new signings Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. But their defense will let them down against top teams, causing them to slip to third in the title race. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.